Hey there, I'm Anthony. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you the filters and labels that I'm currently using in Todoist, at least as of October 2024. Only saying that just because I do change them up quite a bit, and in fact, I did change them up about a week ago. I wanted to use them for a little bit just to see if they were going to stick before I made a video on them. But nonetheless, I wanted to make this video because I know that there are other Todoist users out there who aren't taking advantage of the filters and labels, and just wanted to show what's possible. Now, I'm not going to dive into necessarily all the nitty-gritty stuff as far as like how to build the filters. There is a great AI, creator that Todoist provides you with, where you can just type in what type of filter you're looking for, and it'll build it for you. It's great, super easy. So maybe after watching this video of my filters, it'll spark some ideas, and you can type into that AI filter kind of what you're looking for. I'll also provide links to the Todoist help articles. And there was a blog post I found from somebody a while back that had a bunch of the different types of filters all laid out in a blog post. It was super helpful. And so I'll try and find that and link it up in the description as well. This is my today view in Todoist. And if you notice, it's got these headers above each of the tasks. And what that is it is the labels. And so I have my today view sorted and grouped by labels. And this is super helpful because it allows me to open up my today view and see the different type of tasks laid out in a group that are similar to each other, but laid out in a way that makes sense to how I, go throughout my day. And you do that by setting up your labels and reordering them in the labels area. And that way, when you go to group, it will be sorted out through, the way that they are, in the labels area. So that is one of the reasons why I like using labels, is because it allows you, and this isn't even like a filter, this is just the today view. So it essentially allows you to group similar tasks together in a way that makes sense, so that way you can go throughout your day. And so I have tasks related to my morning and evening routines. It's basically just reminders for me to do those things, like brush my teeth and wash my face, bathe. And the fact that I have them sorted, with morning at the start and evening at the end, it's nice just to be able to go through my today view and see everything in that order. Now, from that, you're able to create views that's custom views of, like, you can break it down however you want. And this is why I recently and frequently change up my filters, is because I'm always looking for ways to kind of slice and dice and break up my tasks to a point where it is not a lot, it's not overwhelming, but makes sense to the context or emotion or what have you of my day, at that point. And so I'm going to go to the filters and show you those, or the filters and labels section, and show you the keyboard shortcut to get to that is G and V, and that'll get you there. I'm going to close up the filters for right now. But these are my labels, and this is overkill, and I know that. This is the most labels that I've ever had, ever. But for the past few months, I've been trying to find different ways to break up all the different type of tasks that I need to do. One of which is admin stuff. I do not like doing admin things, and so Although I could label all the tasks with just this admin label, currently I'm using it just as a bare minimum, very, very general label. But I've created these other ones like finances, order, email, Tave, which is the CRM that I use for my photography business. All those are admin type of things, or labels, whatever you want to call it, contexts. But by me breaking down these different types, I'm able to see them in small chunks and groups. And that is the newest addition to my labels. And so you don't necessarily have to do it like me with all these different types. But if it makes sense to you, you could do it that way. I just personally like being able to see all the emails that I need to respond to, or all the things in Tave that I need to take care of, or all the things on Amazon I need to order for us, that sort of thing. And it allows me to create a filter showing me just those things in the order, in chunks, and that sort of thing. So I've got those. I've got like another example is you could call text, and you could say that text and call is like a communication type of label, which I have used in the past. Currently I'm testing breaking it up into text and call. We'll see how that goes. Down here I have different type of focusing labels. For some reason the focusing label has been something, sorry, my light in here is changing. It's a overcast day today. My focusing tasks and filters and that sort of thing has always felt super overwhelming because a lot of the stuff does need focus. However, I've been really trying to think like, how can I break it up a little bit more? And so now I've got different types of focus. Gosh, the light is changing again. So I now have different types of focus. So I've got focused, creative, which is a different type of focus, full battery. Yes, you can get creative with your labels. Brainstorming, which I don't think is going to stay anymore. It's just not working for me. Editing and video, those are like focusing sort of tasks. And so it allows me to kind of like break it up. Another thing is I've got easy and mindless, also similar, but in my head they are a little bit different. I'll break it down for y'all in just a bit. But yeah, those are my current labels. These are my filters. These are also a lot. However, I'm not using them all in my favorites view. So pull up my side panel. So the shortcut for that is the M button. So if you type or just push M, it'll open it up or close it. And so I just work out of my favorites filters. I don't even go down here to my projects. Every now and then I do. These are my projects right now. Every now and then I do go into them just because I want to see everything based on like the area of my life and kind of like see what's going on. But for the most part, I just solely work out of the favorites filters. And so I'll just briefly explain some of the filters that I do use. I start off my day by just going to my today view and just like going through all the things that I need to do in the morning, like brushing my teeth, showering, exercising, that sort of stuff. As I check them off, this is essentially kind of like what my today view looks like. I've left stuff on here just because I wanted to show what a typical day for me looks like. So what I'll typically do is I'll move to do today. This is a filter that just shows me everything except for like the routine sort of thing. So these are actual tasks that I need to do. It's the same thing as the Today view, except it doesn't have the headers because I don't have it grouped. So it just shows me what do I need to do that day. And I believe I have it sorted by labels. No, I don't, but you can sort it by labels. So yeah, you can sort by priority. You can sort by label, by project. Grouping is where it will group together, if that makes sense. So the way I have this filter set up is up top, it's going to show me the tasks that I need to do that day. And down in the bottom, it's going to show me the chores that I need to do that day. And I have it like that because being that I have ADHD, when I take a break, it allows me to do something else that's productive. So when I'm like, all right, I need to take a break from the screen, what do I need to do? Oh, I need to empty the litter box, or I need to take the trash out, or I need to clean the bathroom, or whatever. It allows me to move on to a different task and stay productive and that sort of thing. And so being able to just look down below and see, what are the chores that I need to do that day is super helpful. And I will show you this filter just because it'll give you an idea of how the others are kind of put together. But the way I like to do it is I like to have up top things that are overdue or due today. And you do that by putting it in the parentheses with this little, I don't know what that is. And then you do, and the exclamation point means not. So I have it to not show chores, not show morning and evening and agenda. And so that allows me to just show everything else except for those tags that I just put there. And then the way that you separate it out is with the, sorry, my cat food feeder is going off. I feel like every time I sit down to make a video, the cat food thing goes off. Okay, so the way that I separate it out to have the chores put down at the bottom is by putting in this comma. So you do a comma and space, and then you can create another filter. So I have the other filter to show underneath that are overdue or today and our chores. That's basically how I set up the rest of the filters. Is kind of like show me overdue and today, and then show me a different set. After that, I've got things related to planning. This is a cool one because I have a task that every day it says review planning filter, and then I just link to it. So when that pops up in my Today view, I click it, it takes me to this filter, and I'm able to see what are the tasks labeled as planning, planning, errands, or my wife. I just recently made a label for my wife because we've been trying to find school pictures of my son to make for this frame that she's got, and every time we've sat down to do it, it just hasn't happened. And so I put it here as a reminder to, all right, we need to plan it out again. And so having a filter or having a label for her is a new addition that I've just made. Another cool thing though is that if I forget to check the inbox, I'm gonna make a quick, so I'll do test task. It'll also show me the inbox up top, so that way when I click in to this filter, I can go, oh, there's things in my inbox. Let me go ahead and start putting them into, maybe this is a chore, I need to go to this, and then this is, I'll go into this at some point later because I know it's pretty meta, but I'm not gonna go into that in today's video. And let's say it's due today. and it's a priority 1. And so I can go ahead and like get through all the things that are in my inbox, save it, and then it's taken care of and added to the list for today or whenever I decide to schedule it. And then from there I can look at everything that's in this filter and be like, okay, I need to put this on the calendar, or what have you. So this is a great filter that I use. I've also got one for ordering, pretty self-explanatory. It's just all the things that we need to get and order from Amazon typically. That way I can just order them all at the same time. Grind It Out is all of those admin labels that I was referring to earlier. So I just have it show me all those labels up top with overdue or today. And then I have the comma of basically the same filter as up top, except the only difference is that it's tasks with no date. So these have not been scheduled. So it allows me to work through, if I'm just working in this filter, work through the things that are due today, get those done with, and then move on to things that don't have a date. The rest of my filters are actually mostly structured that way. It's to show due today or overdue, and then show me everything else that doesn't have a due date. But this one is great because there are days like this past week, my son was sick, and basically kind of just limited with time and mental energy. And so this allowed me to just filter down to, all right, what are the things that need to be done today? Absolutely. That don't require any focus, but just need to get done. And if I've got the energy, what are the things that I can tackle that are also important? And so this is a great filter. But yeah, this allows me to kind of like see those things. And another thing too is you can also, if you wanted to, if there was a lot in here, do the same thing as the today view and sort them or group them by label, and you can like tackle them that way. But for me, I most of the time just keep this as none. Bottlenecks is another great one. It's a new one that I've worked in based on the last video where I was talking about my backlog filter. Just a quick update, if you watched that video, I scheduled out tasks in my backlog filter, and it's been super helpful because I've been knocking them off like when they show up on my today view, and it's made me so happy. I feel so productive. It's been great. If you have ADHD and you've got things that have been on your to-do list for a very long time, but you just never got around to them, add a due date and like give you some pressure. And that's what I've been doing. In fact, I've got a task on my schedule today to take care of one of those things. So it's allowed me to start tackling those things. Also, like if I'm always avoiding the things that I don't want to do, by giving them a date to do them, like they pop back in. And so it's kind of like addressing the out of sight, out of mind sort of thing. And so it's been great. And in fact, in this bottlenecks, I've got a link to that backlog project. It allows me to go in at some point and start scheduling more. I only schedule out like about a month in advance, just because that's just how far my brain is able to plan out. But it's been great. And so I created this bottleneck label. In fact, I had to look up what bottleneck meant because I've always heard it and I didn't actually know what it meant. And turns out it kind of meant what I thought it meant in my head. And so I decided to make this label for similar tasks that are almost like backlog sort of stuff. They're things that don't necessarily need to be done right away, but they are things that are holding up other things in my life. And they can also be things that if I got this thing done, it would make another aspect in my life a lot easier. And so I wanted to make it a point to start tackling those things and also doing the same thing as I'm doing in that backlog project by scheduling them into my calendar. So that way I'm continually working on things that will make my life easier in the future, if that makes sense. So this has been a great one. Full battery. So one thing I will mention is to have fun when you label your labels or title your filters. If you're looking at it, you're going full battery, what does that even mean? You might have an idea, but you probably don't. For me, it means these are things that need some focus, but I can also be a bit distracted and I need a lot of energy. So I decided to call it full battery. And I've also got this filter called focused, which is sort of similar. Like I do need a full battery, but the difference between focused and full battery is that with focused, I do not want to be interrupted while I'm doing these things. I kind of need to be alone for these things, so that way I can just sit down and almost like hyper focus on getting these things done. Full battery just means if I get interrupted, that's fine, but like I need to have some energy that day, some pep in my step, to be able to get through those things. And so I've got those as well. I've got a YouTube filter that just shows me all the videos that I'm currently working on. Creative is similar. It's like, hey, I'm feeling a little bit creative today. What are the things that I can work on? Research and learn are sort of similar. Research is more of like, hey, these are the things that I kind of like want to look into and find a little bit more information about. Like if we open it up, like there's just like things that I'm just basically curious about. My guitar is buzzing like on some frets and I forgot how to fix it on my bridge, and so I want to look into that. Speaking of planning, I'm interested to see if there is a 3-month dry erase board that I can buy, because the one I have over here works great, but it's just a month. And as I'm getting to the end of the month, I just want to see a little bit more at a time. But anyway, these are things that like, I don't need to do right away. I don't need a lot of energy. Like if I'm just like sitting around in bed or sitting around on the couch, hanging around, I can do these things and just look on my phone if I want to. Learning, similar, but these are things that is going to require me mostly to kind of like have a little bit more focus, and so I separate those out from focus or full battery, because I want to know like, all right, I'm going to be sitting down to learn something rather than sitting down to work on something that like I need to focus on. Different types of focus. It makes sense in my brain. I know it sounds similar, but as I was saying, like, you really need to come up with things that like work with your brain. Easy. I actually went through a lot of these when my son was sick, but these are things that like, they're like quick and easy things. Like if I sat down and do them, I could just like knock them out like right away. Mindless sounds similar to easy, but the difference is these are not easy and quick. These are easy, but these are essentially like projects. These are gonna like require me to sit down and like do these things. So like I've got a lot of things that I'm working on organizing on my computer. So I've got things in Dropbox that I want to organize. I've got things in my Lightroom editing software that I use for my photography. Different things that I need to sit down and do. They're not urgent. They need to be done. There are some bottlenecks in here. But they also can just be like mindless, like I can just be tired and like sitting and doing these things, so I can slowly chip away at these things. And then I've got chores down here just in case I just want to see chores only right away. So that is my filters and labels. Super extensive and advanced, or overwhelming, as my therapist said when I explained it to him. But as I was saying in the beginning, like you do not have to have anything like this. You can just have like 1 or 2 like filters or labels, but find ways to make, that it makes sense to you. that works for you. I wanted to just like share these things because I know I've got a lot, and perhaps even if you're only looking for like 1 or 2 ideas, perhaps this will like spark some ideas. Just be creative with it. Like, find things that just, you know, make sense to you. For me, full battery and focused makes sense to me, might not make sense to you. Yeah, so that's it for me today. I know I kind of went a little bit all over the place. I'm still figuring these videos out. I tried to script this out and it didn't work out, but we're figuring things out. We're making it work as always. But thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you want me to dive deeper into something else. And thank you for watching. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.